Hey everyone, my name is Wedge and we're back with our Best of the Rest series. In this video, we're going to focus on the most interesting blue cards and cons that weren't individually spoiled. We'll talk about their limited playability and general power level. It's fun. Blinding Spray is 5 mana for an instant. Creatures your opponents control get -4/-0 until end of turn, draw a card. This is the spell you sideboard in when you're against a Mardu or Teamer strategy that loves to swing everything at you every turn. Just wait until you can get the most value out of it, cast it, get an extra turn, and take advantage of the fact that their shields are down on the battlefield for one turn. I'm not saying that this is a great spell or it should be first picked or anything like that. I'm just saying that it definitely has its uses, especially if you're holding out for something. Cancel gets a reprint. It isn't Mana Leak or a counterspell. Let's talk about something else now. Crippling Chill is 3 mana for an instant. Tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Draw a card. I love abilities like this. Anything that delays your opponent from doing anything is valuable to me. By casting this before your opponent moves to attacks, you've effectively given yourself 2 turns and a free card to deal with it. If this creature was of particular importance to your opponent, you also might have earned a stern look or an exasperated sigh, much like this. Force Away is 2 mana for an instant with Ferocious. Return target creature to its owner's hand. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. There are a few reasons I love this. The first one being that unsummon effects are strong and limited, and a lot of people don't realize that. If your opponent plays something huge and you spend 2 mana to send it back to their hand, you've effectively gained an extra turn. You force them to play out their last turn all over again. That is serious value. Not only that, but if you can trigger Ferocious, you get some nice card filtering. The card is fine with the Ferocious trigger on it. Without it, it's just a really good common. You should play this in limited. Mistfire Weaver is 4 mana for a 3/1 Djinn Wizard with flying and a morph cost of 2 colorless and 1 blue. When it's turn face up, target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. This is a great way to lure a kill spell out of your opponent. Lay this down morphed, play something juicy, and morph this in response to the inevitable kill spell that comes for your best creature. Not only do you deny them the satisfaction of killing your big baddie, but you also get a 3/1 flyer that can provide immediate offensive or defensive impact. Man, I love dream crushing. I really am a blue player. Monastery Flock is a 3 mana 0/5 flock of birds with defender and flying and apparently morph. Seriously, it's a flock of birds. Just look at it. That's all I have to say, honestly. I just think it's funny that a flock of birds has morph and defender. How is that not funny? Riverwheel Aerialist is 6 mana for a 4/5 flying Djinn Monk with prowess. Now this thing is an uncommon bomb. You could first pick this if your rare is awful. Even if you don't utilize the prowess on it, it's a 4/5 flyer for 6 and only one of that is blue. Easily splashable, hard to fight in the air, great card for limited. So good. Just play this. Sion of Glaciers is 2 colorless and 2 blue for a 2/5 elemental. You can pay 1 mana to give it +1/-1 until end of turn. Looks like we have a bit of a Frostburn weird situation going on here. It is twice the mana, but you do get a 1 power and 1 toughness boost. The ability is cheap to activate, making it pretty simple to become a 3/4, a 4/3, or even a 5/2. Against an empty board, the Sion can seriously punish opponents. Against a full one, it can block quite effectively with 5 base toughness. It's just an all-around quality card for limited play. Set Adrift is 6 mana for a sorcery with Delve. Put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. The only thing that makes me not love this card is that it's a sorcery. Beyond that, I pretty much love it to death. The cost is high, but you should be able to delve a few cards no matter what kind of deck you're playing. Even just getting it down to 4 mana instead of 6 makes this playable. The effect here is like the next level of unsummon. Not only did you waste their entire turn by returning their best permanent, but you also put it on the top of their deck, so now they don't even get a fresh draw. It's hysterical and playable and hysterical. Also really funny. I think you get it. Singing Belle Strike is 2 mana for an enchant creature aura. When it enters the battlefield, tap Enchanted Creature. Enchanted Creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Enchanted Creature has the ability to pay 6 mana to untap it. This is purely an anti-aggro card. You play this early game against something that you do not like and hope to find some real answers to by the time they can pay the mana cost. This could also come in handy against Abzan strategies that want to start using Outlast. If you force them to tap their Outlast creatures, especially early, they won't be able to build up as quickly as they need to. While this is only a common, I think its value is at least at uncommon level, especially for what it does against Mardu and Abzan early on. Taigam Scheming is 2 mana for a sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put any number of them into your graveyard and the rest back on top of your library in any order. 1. This is a great way to enable Delve. 2. This is an amazing way to filter the top of your library. 3. It's also super cheap. 4. You should play this. 5. Even though it doesn't advance your board state on turn 2, being able to plan out your next 2 to 5 turns seems good enough. That's because it is. I love this card a lot. Get rid of what you don't need, rearrange what you do. It's like gaining turns. So strong. Treasure Cruise is 8 mana for a sorcery with Delve. Draw 3 cards. Okay, this works. Seriously, it works well. Mid to late game, this will be a lot cheaper thanks to Delve. Totally play this. It is sorcery speed, but it'll end up cheaper than Jace's Ingenuity a lot of the time. It also splashes a lot more easily than that, or Tidings does, though granted it kind of has to in a set full of 3 color decks. I'm impressed. I could use a Treasure Cruise. Anyone want to take me? Waterworld is 4 colorless and 2 blue for an instant. Return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands. You should all realize by now that I value unsummon spells very highly. You should too. This card is no exception. It's an instant, it returns 2 creatures instead of 1, and it'll set your opponent back so far. If you can slam this down on turn 6, I guarantee you completely take over the board, unless they have a mass of goblins, then you should run. But other than that, this is a great limited card. It's so good. Man, I really love unsummon effects. Is there anything better? Boom! And that does it for the rest of the blue cards and cons of Tarkir. White was definitely Abzan focused, but blue seems to be spread out pretty fairly between Jeskai, Sultai, and Temur. I really like the split here. What do you all think about the rest of the blue cards and cons? Let me know how you feel in the comments. As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable cons of Tarkir spoiler information you could ever need. This is the Mana Source. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
What?